through on the way they want to approach things. We'll have to see what the game plan is coming into this draft now.
And the only time that Nocturne Oriana even got through was not main stage. It was TL versus KC. So it hasn't been let through a single time on the main stage here. And we are so deep into this tournament, so many games having been played, and that is just incredible from LYON.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. HLE, as the losers of the previous game, have selected first pick here in this next game. So we're going to see Jace and Gnar banned out by LYON, targeting that top lane, targeting Zeus. Meanwhile, HLE banning out the Varus, the Vayne, and the Nautilus.
Will the Vi get banned is my next question, because very strong, especially for a player like Kanavi. He's been exceptional on the pick, so could be something like a Vi Ari to try and land us through here.
You know what? I honestly wouldn't be shocked if they leave it up and they try to take a page out of Griffin's book, because he and NA had been leaving that up and going Shen as an answer into it, even at times if the comp is low, going Nasus as an answer into it. I think we might be about to see Inspired learn a thing from one of the new guys, and I think that's what they're trying to set up. They're trying to set up a bait. If HLE don't take it, though, Inspired also does love playing the Vi, and Saint is wildly comfortable on the Ahri. So I'm going to be so interested to see, is HLE nervous to grab it?
They take it. So here we have to see what the plan is going to be.
I think we get Shen.
That's I do like the response, because I think Shen, as you say, very strong into it. You just ult the target that's been ulted by the Vi. Makes it very difficult to try and follow up, but we'll have to see, because LYON, as you say, their prep has been exceptional in this series.
And you saw when Vi was locked in, 9-2 so far at this tournament. Very, very powerful, over an 80% win rate. So you can't just pick something normal. You've got to have some sort of answer pre-planned. And first and foremost, LYON is going to go with the Lucian. 7-1 here at MSI has also been a very powerful pick.
Yeah, Lucian Milio obviously really good as a bot lane just in general, but also specifically into this, especially if you are expecting something like an Ahri. You can cleanse the charm coming through with the Breath of Life. Lulu could go pretty hard, though. I think that is not an easy 2v2 to deal with, but I'm not sure if they'd be willing to just slam it down right here, right now.
I mean, we have seen HLE play it domestically. They actually had the Shen for themselves in that combo as well. But the Neela, that was not what I had on the cards.
Okay, no picks, no bans, no presence at this tournament up until this point.
Senna, very strong alongside the Neela if you want to try and go for it, but it's not traditionally. Okay, draft has disappeared. Right. Chino Juncio, and that survived me through this.
Hey, you've got me beat, brother. All right, let's go ahead and get back into it. So yeah, Kog'Maw Lulu, the hyper-scaling bottom lane duo to answer the Lucian Milio.
This is going to be really, really interesting. Do you go for a denial pick here? Is it something like the Shen? Am I completely off on my read and they just go something more standard? There are a lot of different options. I think not having any dive threat versus Kog Lulu is really scary, which does kind of dissuade something like the Shen, I think. So they might just go for a different angle, try to get some hard engage from top, from jungle, and it is going to be Saint, playing comfort here on the Viktor. They could ban out some of the pairings like the Ahri in that second phase. Okay. And I assume that they would want some hard engage here, because you either do that or you try to just kite out the Cog W and you try to, play around those windows of power, but it's not always easy.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot about the Shen, but again, Zeus has played the Shen with the Cog Lulu domestically, so you could end up having that Shen actually taken away. They did end up playing the Shen, though, into things like the Sion, which was more kind of the answer, and with Sion now no longer available, and not really, I think, a tank for Dhokla in the top lane, maybe that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, I don't think Dhokla would be going towards it, and it's obviously already been played, but yeah, I just think the Shen becomes less likely as an answering pick because of the Cog Lulu, but I'm interested to see, what their read on it is, because they might have a completely different read of no, we don't actually dive. We just kill Vi when she dives. And that is what Shen does really succeed at. So, if that is your read, we kite back. We just outrange the Cog and Lulu, just run away from them and kill whoever runs in.
Which is kind of why I like the Viktor, right? That zone control, because Kog'Maw has to try and run through that gravity field to make sure that he can actually auto-attack you. So I do like the way LYON are already considering kind of how you can control the zones that Kog can play through.
Completely agree. And I mean, the lasers can be difficult to deal with. It's going to be Ahri and Cassio, so two of those pairings that you might expect alongside that Vi taken away. Trundle obviously can be pretty annoying for Vi. It's kind of a similar thought process of you're not trying to go for the others, you're trying to actually go for the Trundle, and you can pillar out the Cog and just kill the Vi when she ults in.
Yeah, Trundle is so good at stat checking these junglers who have their engage as a big part of their power budget when you think of something like a Xin Zhao, when you think of something like a Vi, so that ban makes sense. K'Sante going to be the final ban here in this draft.
The last time a Korean team played Kog Lulu internationally was actually Worlds 2017 semis, Wolf and Bang playing it against RNG. This was the infamous Faker Galio series where he was everywhere.
That was the first year I was a professional caster. It's been that long ago.
I hadn't started.
All right, so you and I are both taking a long step back in time.
Skarner.
LYON are going to go with the Skarner here for the jungle pick.
So this is a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Potentially you can get in on the Kog, but you also can just peel the Vi when the Vi dives and actually kill that way. So I do like this as an answer, especially, okay, it's going to be Yone. So they're just throwing down the gauntlet. Zeka, famed for his melee picks. And what does Dhokla do into this? Is it just going to be an Ornn answer or a Galio answer? I feel like that could kind of fit what they're building here because it is against this Rumble, which can be a very tough matchup.
So we saw Zeka play the Yone in the series against BLG. That was in game number 1. That was also the game where there were 2 deaths before anybody even went to lane. So it kind of just was lost from the very onset of things. This will be probably a more honest showing of what he can do, but Dhokla is going to lock in the Gwen here for the top lane against Rumble.
Yeah, so Rumble did get nerfed several patches ago that makes him a little bit weaker to those AP matchups.
Yeah.
So opting into the Gwen to say, hey, we've got that late game scaling coming through the Gwen, strong side lane presence, which has worked for LYON thus far in the series, and just see if you can immediately jump on towards this Kog'Maw on the backline using that W, the hollowed mist, so the Kog'Maw just can't hit you and you take him down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it can be very strong. Obviously, you're going to outscale the Rumble in those side lanes, in the 1v1s. But here's the question. Game 1, you're playing against a tank. You know, the lane is pretty chill. Game 2 went very bad for Dhokla in this Gragas versus Anivia matchup. He was really on the back foot. He had some great utility that he brought to the team fight. If you fall behind on Gwen, you don't have utility. You bring damage, and you bring only damage. So he has got to now believe in his skills in the 1v1 against Zeus in a carry versus carry matchup because he can't fall thousands of gold behind and expect to still be useful.
And again, it goes back to what you mentioned in game number 1, the quote from Inspired, you've got to take risks. You can't just play safe against HLE when you know you're the underdog, when you know what caliber of team you're up against. Sometimes you've got to roll the dice, and Dhokla's saying that he can step up and answer the challenge.
And I'm trying to see if they're going to be weighted dice here because I think Inspired should be trying to play down towards this bottom side. That's your bridge to the late game. Get this Viktor online. Get Dhokla into a position where he can be strong, even opting into the exhaust in the matchup for Dhokla. He wants to play heavily, but...
And look at Zeus. Zeus is actually playing Storm Raider Surge. So he's going to be playing Storm Raider Surge on the Rumble, not the typical rune, but he is saying the way that I die... level 1.
Yeah. All right. Not a whole lot that we got from the level 1.
But that's actually pretty big because I don't know if they're going to get a chance to base, right? And now you got a little bit of chunk. You lose about 100 health there. So Inspire with a nice little angle, and we'll be back to that red buff in time to start. But again, yeah, Storm Raider Surge is tech to deal with the all-in that's coming out from Dhokla. When you hit 6, these slows from the needlework come out, and it can be very difficult to escape. And so this is the tech that allows you to answer that.
I believe with the bone plating down on Gumayusi as well, it gives Berserker and Isles a little bit of a window here. And when the dash comes back up, there you go to try and look for these trades. Immediate barrier there, so Gumayusi can still contest this level 1 push.
Yeah, the barrier coming out very, very quickly. And a good shield from Delight as well to help stave off some of that damage. But Berserker and Isles just constantly going to be trying to force these trades because Guma outside of his W window is very weak, but during it, he is very, very strong, and that is why you see them trying to push so hard. Zeka's kind of getting slammed in these trades right now. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, but that's why you can also see the pathing coming through from Inspired where he's moving topside, because you do have the level 2 hit. Good trading there coming back from LYON, honestly, as they use the heal to keep themselves topped up. But this is where this can get painful if you're the Lucian Milio. Constantly getting pushed in. You never really have the ability to push it back out because Lulu can use the Q, but here we go.
Yep, down in the bottom lane, it's Berserker bringing Gumayusi down to 100 HP. Isles continuing to go forward. Berserker! He gets first blood in the 2v2. Isles flashing away from the Kog'Maw body so that he does not get traded back, but LYON's bot lane duo comes to life.
How about this for lane dominance? You get the 2v2 and the flash off Guma. You take him down, and Sate is looking incredible in this mid lane. They had a ward on both sides of the jungle for Vi. They know exactly where he is.
And that's the extended punish from that level 1. The bone plating went down. So in the initial trade, Gumayusi has to burn the barrier, and then LYON know they have more in the tank when it comes to the summoner spells. Immediately going in, the cozy campfire giving the heal, the range, and you've still got the barrier to make sure this trade is all in favor of LYON.
And it's just beautiful there. Notice the backstep from Berserker. He's getting low. Isles is still dealing the damage with the auto attacks. He's soaking up that damage from the Kog'Maw. And Kanavi gonna get in here, try to get that early ward down. Dhokla doing all right so far. And you can see this is the all-time head-to-head LCK versus LCS. Has not looked too good for us, let's be honest, but we have had these glimmers of hope in the more recent years. You think about that 5-game series between FlyQuest and Gen G. You think about TL challenging T1 a number of times. You think about that belief that we had in some of these series, and that is what LYON is trying to recapture.
Saint doing a great job of freezing the wave here in front of his tower. Hasn't gone for the reset. Zeka already TP'd in, but now the play under tower. Saint needs the flash.
Yeah, Kanavi over the wall, coming in with the ball breaker. There's the Q flash to try to get the kill. One more hit from Zeka's gonna get it done. And the HLE mid-jungle duo accomplishes the mission. Now inspired, Ishtal's impact over the wall, but he can't collide with Zeka, so HLE get a 1 for nothing.
Saint was trying so hard to freeze that, had the teleport to come back into lane, just wanted to thin the wave a bit, but HLE find the timing window with Kanavi sneaking around to the far side and getting the dive.
That's actually huge. He cancels Zeka's base there and he has no TP.
Yup, now up here on the top side, Dhokla versus Zeus. You can see the speed of that Storm Raider surge there for the Rumble, but now Inspired making his way towards the bottom lane. The wave has crashed into the turret already. Berserker and Isles once again looking to make the moves. Gumayusi is taken low. Isles absorbing the turret. Gumayusi killed again. It won't be a 2 for nothing. It will not be a trade back from HLE. Inspired survives, and Guma's dead again.
They're continuing to punish on this bottom side. LYON were counterpicked, but LYON are stomping Gumayusi into lies.
It is just beautiful to see here from Berserker and Isles playing it out so well. Dhokla doing great in the 1v1 on the top side, and Inspired getting involved here early. Guma, his barrier came back up, but it just did not matter. They juggled the turret well. Isles picked up the early aggro, and that was enough to buy them the time, even through barrier and shields, to kill him off.
And I'm glad you mentioned the barrier, because the first death, Gumayusi lost his flash anyway. Now he loses his barrier anyway, and you can see here Berserker won his first game against Gumayusi just last game, and now he's off to a nearly 1,000 gold lead.
And I have always felt a little bit that Berserker, when he goes international, has a little bit of a mental block against these LCK teams, because his time in the LCK, he was on bottom teams. He was mostly losing. He was seeing firsthand just how good they are, and I wonder if getting that win against someone like Guma, who he respects so much, could really allow him to play a little bit more free, a little bit more confidently, believe in himself in these matchups that little bit more.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of belief in that bottom lane right now. Berserker is absolutely showing up. 2 kills now in the Lucian. The early sheen to a slingshot. Like, you're going to be very much able to continue this pressure on the bottom side, and that opens up things like the Dragon.
Yeah, but now it's a full send coming out. The Fate Seal does just that. HLE solo laners rotate over. They'll take the crab, and they'll take Inspired's life.
And the fight was decided by the smite. Kanavi wins the smite. That gives him 6, and that allows him to full send it there onto Inspired.
Nicely done there from HLE. Kanavi coming out on top there in that smite battle. Earns him an extra kill.
And an extra camp as well. Might even earn him Dhokla, who has stepped away, but Kanavi just going to hop out of that one. Still, HLE making some moves on the top side.
Yeah, they didn't want to try to make any sort of a play towards Dhokla there. Equalizer is not available. The Vi ult is not available. The exhaust and the needlework both there for Dhokla, so they just back it off.
Yeah, exactly. And we're seeing the value of this Vi. Kanavi making him pay thus far for giving that over. That is one of these picks. Again, it is down to preparation. They didn't forget about the Vi, just like the Nocturne Orianna. They're saying, we are giving you this power, but our response is going to be powerful because we know exactly what you're going to be going for. But so far, Kanavi, great gank in mid lane, gets a kill for Zeka. That fight up on the top side, winning the smite fight, gets a kill for Zeus. And the double Z's up on the top side are getting a big lead.
And this is Kanavi's tempo. When he joined HLE, the whole story was HLE trying to pick up the pace to keep up with Kanavi. You're seeing it now on this top side. The play in mid, then finding that smite on the Scuttle Crab to pick up the kill as well. And if this Vi can start to punish some of the fact that, you know, you still have that flash gone in mid lane, you don't have a flash for Dhokla on the top side, there's always these windows for HLE to pick up more.
And this is how HLE wants to play. They want to play around their solo lanes. They want Kanavi focusing on getting those double Zs like you're talking about ahead. We mentioned back in game number 1, Gumayushi's used to being weak-sided. He's able to just farm up, he can be targeted, and count on the rest of the team to get the work done if he's being focused.
One thing I will say, though, Lulu obviously has a lot of power in the late game, but generally speaking, I like Lion's comp late game way more. I mean, I do think their ability to disengage some of these engages is incredibly powerful. Kanavi, though, looking for Saint.
Yeah, Saint could be in some danger here. Vault Breaker finds a target. Saint uses the power siphon to get himself away in time. Still loses about 1/3 HP.
Yeah, but it's the chunk because Inspired here is over on the grubs. And does grab that first grub. Has his ulti available. Kanavi's is back too.
Okay, 1 for 1 on grubs so far. Third grub still alive. Kanavi should be able to secure this one easy, so HLE's coming out on top.
Kanavi is up 2 full levels over Inspired now. After the kills, after the stolen camps, Inspired rarely gets this far behind.
And that's why I'm surprised the line didn't try and take that fight. They had the push on top. Already Viktor shifts across the mid. I honestly expected them to just try and full send with the position they had on the map, but Inspired a little bit wary as he backs away. Now Kanavi wants more.
Yep, that's the level 8 versus level 6 advantage. Kanavi knows Inspired cannot deal with him, and now cease and desist yet again. Wild growth with Gumayusi coming up right behind him. Delight takes the kill, and HLE find their third.
Punch in the face, knocked up by the wild growth, and then turned into a little butterfly. Inspired did not have a fun time in that one at all. And Kanavi, this Vi is taking over.
Yeah, it's going to get really hard because he's losing camps again off the back of that. Inspired is always so precise with his plays, always so efficient with his plays, and now down so much farm. The gold is less the problem than the experience because he's maintained that 2 full level lead. And though I do really like Lion scaling, if the Skarner does not stay relevant, you are just food for this comp.
And I think Kanavi's been doing a great job of basically tracking what Inspired's up to and then punishing further, right?
Yeah.
Make the play on bot, you get a camp. You try and take the fight on the top side after Scuttle, steal away the Gromp. Then go for the reinvade on the Gromp. Have the support there. And it's this constant ticker that Kanavi goes for. Because in the past, we had like Jankos was talking about trying to play against Kanavi. If you took a Scryer's Bloom at the wrong time, Kanavi would track you for the next 3 minutes. This has always been where this jungler has shined, and again, we're starting to see it here in this game.
And I mean, when he is at his best, he is so hard to stop. The plays come fast and furious. He's always trying to push that limit, as you're saying. Tracking you perfectly, forcing plays, creating advantage after advantage after advantage. And Inspired right now, it's just kind of in recovery mode. It is a very late first dragon, so you're not worried about an early soul or anything like that. And top lane has been fine so far for Dhokla, which I think Lion are going to be very happy about.
Yeah, this dragon way, way later compared to the first 2 games. This is honestly around the time the second Drake has spawned and been fought for in the previous 2. So slower on that one, but HLE does own the first Drake. They do own the 2-to-1 here in the Void Grub. So neutral objectives going the way of the team that has the accelerated jungler.
The 2 first items completed by Berserker and Kanavi, though. So it really does become a fight between those 2 if we get to this next objective. And Kanavi realizing, hang on, I don't have that cease and desist. I don't want anything to do with this bottom lane right now. I'm just going to try and clear it out, make sure I was there to cover any sort of play that happened, but just try and keep this gold influx going in my favor.
Ooh, hold on. Exhaust use here in the top side. Dhokla's got the needle work. The equalizer's already been used on the wave. Meanwhile, bottom lane Inspired, potentially looking for a play down here. Top side, Dhokla gonna be burned low. Zeus with the solo kill, cuts him down. Meanwhile, bottom side, Berserker needs a little bit more damage to try to kill Gumayusi. The turret's gonna turn right back over onto Inspired. Breath of Life will not save him, but Berserker's already got the double kill. It's a 2 for 2 across the map.
Inspired is all in on this bot lane, is giving up his top camps to make sure that Berserker can go 4-0, but it's HLE that are winning elsewhere.
Yeah, and they're winning elsewhere big time. Inspired now 3 full levels down. Yes, Berserker is strong, but Zeus gets a solo kill on that top side. And Dhokla, tries to fight it out, feels that the exhaust might actually make the difference here. But with that Shroud down, Zeus was happy to take the fight. Even with that early exhaust, he just kites it out. He has the Swifties. And you can see this needlework not really getting too much value. And then Zeus keeps his heat at just the right temperature, let's call it. Flashes in, finishes him off. Beautiful solo.
Yeah, the needlework dodged twice in that fight was huge. And then on the dive, Gumayusi flashes away, but it's straight into the face of a Culling. And it's good using of the tower aggro. It is Inspired, it goes down. but the fact that you get 2 kills onto Berserker and some turret plates has to be the silver lining here for LYON.
It really is, and I mean, it's kind of all eggs in the Berserker basket because the gold is close, but Dhokla gonna get pressured again.
Yep, it's Kanavi looking to work together with Zeus and find yet another kill here in the top lane. HLE's game plan, focus these solo lanes, get them ahead. Dhokla survives for now, but Kanavi re-enters, and Kanavi takes another one. HLE, 1,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, Dhokla had both Berserker and Isles who were moving up, but thought maybe he could play it safe with the dash, calls them off, and it means he just falls on his own.
Yeah, I feel like Dhokla had outplayed it. He had survived, and then he was trying to reset that skip and slash by getting those melees down and ends up just dying and giving one over, and that's costly. They're going to look for Zeka.
Yep, Zeka's about to endure a 4-man play. He wants to try to turn it around a little bit here. Soul Unbound has already been used. Fate Seal doesn't get him a whole lot. Zeka taken out. However, HLE's not done. Berserker's under pressure. Kanavi trying to kill him off. Berserker firing back. Kanavi gets the kill over onto Inspired, and the Wild Growth is going to keep HLE going. LYON are utterly routed, and HLE bury 4. Dhokla will at least get one back on Gumayusi over in mid lane as he skips and slashes away from the bomb. He'll survive. It's a 4-for-2 trade. HLE, 2,000 gold lead.
LYON had to have thought they had Kanavi there, but the Sundered Sky healing was insane. He just bounces back and forth between targets, heal after heal after heal. The fight starts out pretty well. There's a TP coming in behind, but they just rush down Zeka. But look at how tanky Kanavi is. He is 2,000 gold ahead. They stun him into the wall. They ult him up. Look at the survival here, though. He gets the passive shield, one proc from the Sundered Sky, another proc from the Sundered Sky, the Wild Growth, and even as strong as Berserker is, he can't get the kill.
And LYON were just trying to make that play quick and fast, get on out. But Saint didn't have the mana to follow up on the rest of the fight. But Dhokla at least able to get something back in the mid lane. We can see Zeka happy that his team was able to bail him out of that
one. Absolutely the case. We'll see if LYON can continue to try to pull their way back into this. I mean, you still have a super strong AD carry, but Zeus is now massively ahead. Kanavi has maintained this enormous jungle lead as well.
And that was the problem in that fight as well. Kanavi having so much damage just meant he basically soloed out Berserker before anyone could really help him out. And that's a major issue for these upcoming fights.
And Inspired having no damage, right? You know, if he had had any damage, he could have actually maybe finished him off there. Kanavi was down about 5-10% before he started getting that healing coming in. But Inspired is still down almost a full 3 levels here as Kanavi's going to hit 12.
Yeah, Inspired has his Heartsteel, and he has a couple of very basic low-tier items. Meanwhile, Sundered Sky and Cleaver both completed for Kanavi. Gumayusi about to die to the calling. Barrier keeps him alive. Berserker loses a lot of health to the heated-up turret.
Not really worth it in the end. Berserker took so much damage from the turret that he has to back away anyway. And now you've got that push on the bottom lane from Zeka. So immediately HLE going to move over towards the Dragon and pick that one up.
And at the very least, Inspired, obviously, from behind, you have your CC. But we talked about it with Dhokla. He did get that kill onto Gumayusi, which is something for him. But, you know, before that solo kill, he was holding even. Then he gets solo killed. Then he gets dove. Now he's down 2K. And Gwen does not have that utility.
Now, though, maybe a moment to fight for LYON. Because you've just hit 2 items on Berserker on this reset. You have Rift Herald up and available. Ping's already going down from HLE. They want to try and move into position, but you only have the members of LYON coming back out on the map now, Inspired, starting to move into this bottom side where there is not a single camp in sight for him.
I think the terrifying part, though, is when you are kind of one threat right now. I mean, Saint is relevant.
Over the wall goes Kanavi, and Dhokla once again must cease and desist. Zeus unstoppable. Kanavi is anywhere and everywhere at the same time, and he is dominating this third game.
And look at Zeka reading the play. He knows every time they go top, they dive him bot. Zeka just walks mid. He's going to farm up the wolves and say, I know what you were looking for. I'm not going to show up for it. I won't give a kill back this time. But, you know, you need that second threat for LYON because otherwise it's going to be Yone ult, it's going to be Vial, it's going to be Equalizer all on your head every fight as Berserker, and someone else has to punish.
Berserker now going to be your target. Polymorph tries to get away, but the fate sealed again will do its duty. Gumayusi takes the kill to add insult to injury, and now the 1 point of strength for LYON is cut down. HLE over 4,000 gold ahead as they ram the Rift Herald straight down mid.
The instructional video for Azael's commentary just comes through immediately afterwards. Like, there was nothing that Berserker could do on that one. And now the Rift Herald going to the bot lane. 4,000 gold, about to skyrocket for HLE.
I mean, this is just a top-side masterclass here. Kanavi and Zeus really running away with the game. LYON will continue to fight, continue to look for plays, and we'll see if they can find something on the Zeus. But this is a risky dive if they want to go for it.
All right, Dhokla's wave going to be cleared out by the equalizer. Saint shows up, Inspired trying to get in here and make the play. Zeus shoved away out of the turret. Inspired barely survives. LYON get their mark before Kanavi can show up with Delight to try to get one back.
I wasn't sure if Delight was going to get there in time, but I don't think they really care. You got Zeka onto the tier 2 in the bottom lane, putting in work. It feels like LYON, they're still trying to make these plays happen, but they just don't have the map to do so.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. I mean, when your jungler falls this far behind, it's going to be tough, and Kanavi looking for more.
Yep, once again, that cease and desist is going to find a valuable target. The solo laners on LYON are being hunted. Kanavi is having such an impressive game here. This is exactly the way he wants to play. This is exactly how HLE has become such a powerful team in the LCK, and they are doing it again here in this third game against LYON.
And while Berserker is still strong, quietly his gold lead has been eroded away at, Guma. Down 1K, that is relevant, but then you look over and you see a 2.4K gold lead, a 2-level lead in the jungle. You see an entire level lead and 1.3K in the advantage of Zeus, and you realize that 1K for Berserker might not be enough.
Kanavi versus Inspired here with the blue buff. Inspired going through the wall, wants Kanavi there, but the flash away from the Vi to answer the flash from Inspired to chase him over the wall. Kanavi stays alive and still deathless this game.
A valuable effort from Inspired, but couldn't quite make it work. Was trying to use the timing window as Zeka was pushing in this top side to make something happen, but LYON haven't reset. Zeka's getting so much gold on these side lanes for free.
Yeah, I mean, LYON obviously feel like the pace of the game is not working in their favor. So they have made the call that we have got to send on plays. We cannot play the game out normal. We cannot just match side lanes and expect to win. So Inspired is just going to keep sending it. He does this in NA. It is very rare that he gets behind, but as Flowers can attest to, sometimes he does, and he has these games where he's going to end up with 7, 8, 9 deaths, it feels like, because he believes the best way to win in a position like this is just to send it. So that's what he's going to keep doing.
He will not bleed out slowly. If he feels like they are at a disadvantage, he's going to keep trying to make a move happen. But it's so difficult against a team like HLE when they have a lead built up like this. 4,000 gold. Everybody's feeling super strong. Gumayusi now with a second fully completed item. He's on the same number of completions as Berserker. So again, that 1 point of strength for LYON doesn't feel particularly strong with 30 seconds left to go until the third Drake spawns.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what he's going to be able to get done. LYON trying to fight. It is going to be yet another Hextech Soul. 3 games in a row here that it is going to be that Hextech Soul up and available, and this time it is definitely favoring HLE as they are the ones with a 2 dragons to 0 lead. And LYON not really looking like they are prepped to even fight this one whatsoever, so I think LYON are going to have to give it probably.
And you can see powerful defensive itemization for the HLE solo laners as well. Immortal Shield Bow for Zeka. Inspire going to be the target here for Kanavi. Tries to use the Impale to turn things around and buy himself a little time. Inspire below half HP. Dhokla going to be your target. Tries to use the Hallowed Mist, but Dhokla's already down and Kanavi is on a rampage. HLE, they find the pick and earn the Drake.
It's a feint from HLE. They go for the Skarner, but they hit in the kidneys, and it's Dhokla who ends up falling as a result. Dragon number 3 for the LCK.
It's just one of 1,000 great plays from Kanavi this game. Inspired sent the Impale in onto Kanavi, but there was no one around to follow up on the damage, so Kanavi was still at full health. And we see him just full send it onto Dhokla as soon as he shows up, and they're going to move themselves to the Soul Point. They have nearly a 5,000 gold lead. They are looking so damn strong. Inspired maybe thinking that his team was closer than they were in this moment. I mean, Kanavi goes in and he tries to CC him up, but it's just no one's in range to follow up on the Impale.
Yeah, Inspired just a little bit too far forward. Maybe worried that Kanavi was going to ult him immediately, but instead Dhokla tries to move in to help, and they end up just turning it onto the top laner and finish him off. Zeka has been hiding in this bush for a while. I thought he'd go for the tower, but once maybe a kill, but it's just going to channel the back, and yeah, we'll end up backing away fully.
4.9 thousand gold lead, 3 Drakes to to nothing. 3 turrets to 1. Everything belongs to HLE right now as Gumayusi steps forward. And this Kog'Maw is really starting to hurt up here in the top lane. Zeka also winning out in the trade against Dhokla, even despite the turret's interference. For LYON, it's got to be some kind of a miracle. We think back to game 1. We think to the clever steal on the Elder Drake that looked like it may have given them a chance when the game was otherwise over. Anything shy of that, and I feel like HLE's got this one locked down.
And I just don't think they have the same kind of playmaking. I mean, Isles has been so critical in the last 2 games, his playmaking. It's really just Inspired that can try to grab someone, but he's so far behind. He has just been paper, and HLE want to force the issue. They're trying to get at least a TP from Dhokla.
Exactly. Dhokla down in the bottom lane, teleport's ready, but Kanavi and Zeka can take down this Baron so easily with just the 2 of them. Teleport coming in now from Dhokla. HLE, they got what they came for. Summoner spell is down. Saint steps forward towards the Baron, but it's already lost its patience and regenerated far too much HP. Berserker stepped up here in the mid lane. Inspire goes over the wall, finds the slam onto Kanavi, but where's the follow-up damage? There's nothing from LYON. Kanavi's just fine with Wild Growth. He gets back over the wall. That's Impale plus the Arcane Storm used by LYON. Only Wild Growth from HLE as now Inspire looking to find the catch here onto Zeka in the mid lane. Isles grabs the kill. They manage to take out the enemy mid laner. Gumayusi's about to die next. Zeus in the middle of everybody, exhausted. They try to get Kanavi out. He barely stays alive. No deaths on the LYON side. I said they needed a miracle, and that team fight may have turned water to wine.
What a fight there from LYON out of nowhere from so far behind. They're going to go for the Baron, but Berserker has no HP. I don't even know if he can do this, and Kanavi is still in the area, has Smite.
Okay, Milio very good at keeping his allies topped off. You've got the cozy campfire, you've got the warm hugs. Saint's going to try to make sure that Kanavi can't get anywhere near this one. Saint goes over the wall. Kanavi trying to get out now, stuck inside the gravity field. Turns it right back around with a Vault Breaker, looking at Saint. Cease and desist. Kanavi staying alive. Saint outplaying him. And with the Ultra Mega Fire kick, Isles guarantees the enemy jungler falls. Let's take another look.
You can see in the fight here that as they end up forcing Kanavi out, they jump on top of him. You get the ult, but Kanavi has to escape over the top of it because of the gravity field coming through from Saint. And that's where Zeka thinks he finds his moment. He whiffs, and it sets up LYON for the re-engage.
Exactly. Zeka goes forward here, but he's already a little bit low. And look at that sidestep from Inspired. Slams him into the wall, and they just have enough damage to take him down. Guma has overstepped. Dhokla catches him, and then Zeus flashes in, tries to take out Berserker, but the exhaust is there. The breath of life is there. And then Berserker going too far forward, has to use both the summoners, barely survives. A big misstep from Berserker, but it's still a brilliant fight, and they're looking for Guma!
We're right back on the live, but Gumayusi's dead! Inspired looking to make it a 2-man play as the light tries to get out. They use the Impale, and they found Zeka. He wants to get away, but the bait shield is blocked. Zeka making enough distance for now. Zeus in the middle of everybody, but Berserker kills him off. It's a meat grinder! HLE! They are aced! You can win the game for 90% of the time, but LYON find the clutch.
They find the clutch, and they should be able to end it right here, right now. They got the wave.
They're pushing straight into the enemy base. Look at your win chance. Look at the gold cap. Look at LYON in the base of HLE. They push towards the Nexus turrets. Gumayusi is back alive. Delight in 10. LYON health bars. Compromised. First Nexus turret, taken low, taken out. 3 seconds on Delight. Gumayusi stepping forward. The game's not over yet. LYON's health was too low to end.
LYON don't think they can do it. They will just back away, but the TPs are coming in. The resets, thanks to that Baron buff, are going to get them out of there. LYON with a 7,000 goal play on the Red Bull Baron power play.
But it's Soul that's on the table now, and HLE are rushing for it here. LYON are strong now, but they spent a lot on that fight. They thought they could end it.
Yep, LYON's going in. They want to try to challenge here for the Soul. This could decide the entire game. HLE already onto the objective. LYON stepping forward, but they're doing it slowly. Dhokla over the wall. Inspired's on top of the Drake as the calling forces Gumayusi away. The Kog'Maw's already almost down. They go to make the play. Cease and desist coming out from Kanavi, but he will not find a kill here just yet. Berserker is shut down. HLE find a couple of kills. Gumayusi staying alive. Inspired here with the bullet to Zeus. HLE still trying to take the Drake. It is secured by LYON. Zeka still fighting here in a 1v3. The main character, but Saint executes him. Gumayusi, the only man left alive.
And Saint, who took the dragon, he does it again.
Wait,
pulls
they're
the miracle out of his hat.
They want to keep going. They think it's just Gumayusi. They were considering going for the end there. But with Isles on such low HP, they decide to back away. But holy moly, what is this game, boys?
It is insanity. It is LCS going toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the world. And it is Dhokla creating so much space at the beginning of this fight, pushing back Kanavi. But it is HLE standing strong. They find Berserker. Look at Zeus on the flank. Was marked by Isles. Got knocked back. But then in they go. They get in. Back onto the Lucian. They burst them down.
And it's Saint who dives the backline. Saint who manages to get the stasis. And when it all comes crashing down for HLE, it is Saint standing over them saying, I don't forgive you, HLE. NA are here to play.
And it is Guma living with one spell of health, or they would have won the game there. They would have been able to go down. But again, are they going to catch him on the recall? They spotted him, but Zeus is there.
Both of these last fights, Berserker's culling has found the heart of Gumayusi, the Kog'Maw, under so much pressure from these Lucian ultimates, and it's making it hard for him to participate.
And it's also the build from the Lucian, going for the Black Cleaver, giving him that little bit of extra survivability that was crucial on the play in mid, because the cozy campfire kept him topped up. He survived for so long in that dragon fight, and now Berserker finishing off the Infinity Edge. 4 items for this Lucian. He is so strong.
He is so powerful, and Inspired was down 3 levels. He's down less than 1 level now. Got so much experience from the Baron, from these fights. Dhokla is relevant as far as gold goes as well. He almost has his completed Zonias. And LYON, we got to see, can they get it across the finish line here? HLE so deadly in these fights. They've got a GA. They've got the Zonias on Zeus, and they've got the Infinity Edge on Zeka.
All right, battle in the enemy red side jungle as LYON tries to push forward. Inspired here on the front line, but Kanavi secures the red buff. Vault Breaker channel to make sure that he can get right back out. 1,500 gold lead for Saint. Zonya's Hourglass ready to go. 10 stacks on the Medjai's. Seeker's Arm Guard for Dhokla. Protoplasm Harness for Inspired.
It is about slowing down the pace here for LYON. Baron in 40 seconds. Keep the waves pushed in. Keep HLE on their side of the map. Don't let them look for more as Kanavi.
Yeah, Kanavi jumps in after Inspired, but he goes for the Vault Breaker. Immediately, Kanavi backing right back away. Inspired's impaled, does pose a little bit of a threat, but nobody is close enough to provide the damage. But now the calling comes out. Zeus on the run. LYON looking for their angle here to try to end the game. Dhokla's made his way in. The Nexus turrets, both standing at about 1/3 HP. HLE still trying to escape. Equalizer onto the minion wave.
They're on the towers!
Putting damage onto the towers. Kanavi still trying to enter into the fight. Berserker attacking turrets. Kanavi here on the front line. Dhokla goes golden. Zeus does the same. Kanavi is down. Kanavi is gone. The Nexus is gone. LYON are on match point.
LYON are pulling off the miracle. They are on match point against the LCK's #1 in Daejeon.
Closer,
Let's go!